All right, well, good afternoon and evening, everybody. I'm meteorologist Nick Stewart. We're tracking severe weather that is actively moving through the Midwest at this hour. We do have active tornado warnings. We do have active severe thunderstorm warnings. So, yeah, we have a lot of problems. Right now, we're looking at a live view on the north side of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Let's take a look, though, at the radar view because we have some problems afoot here. First and foremost, we do have a tornado warning which has just been issued for the Cedar Rapids metro area. This does include Cedar Rapids, Marion, up to Robbins, Hiawatha, and this will go eastward, farther east as well. This is for basically the southern portions of Lynn County, extreme northeastern portions, northwestern portions of Cedar County, southwest Jones County as well. So Marion, Springville, Martell, Morley, Bertram, Mount Vernon, Marion, you're going to be kind of in the area at risk for this. We do have that tornado warning in effect here. If I look at the velocity view, it's not the cleanest of views right now, but we do have some spin kind of showing up here on the radar view. Again, this is kind of on the east side of Cedar Rapids. I'm going to see if I can pull up a traffic camera here farther east, perhaps. Let's see what this looks like. This is CR 42. 42. I want to do CRTV 42. Stand by. I'm just kind of working on some things in the back end here. Let's get this rolling. So here is right now live view on the northeast side of Cedar Rapids. You can see the winds are howling pretty good here. So this is right at Marion. This is First Avenue and Collins Road in northeast Cedar Rapids. You can see the wind flying pretty good there. So we do have some pretty strong winds that are occurring here in the Cedar Rapids metro area. Strongest winds are likely going Cedar Rapids right now. Likely kind of focused on the northeast side of Cedar Rapids. We have a second kind of pretty good push coming in from the northwest as well, kind of moving into Hiawatha right now. I'm kind of curious what it looks like maybe farther northwest. We have any good views out that way. Pretty strong winds are kind of diving into the Cedar Rapids metro right now. All these cameras are looking okay at the moment. I'm kind of jumping around through different traffic cams and stuff like this, but we do have the tornado warning in effect here. This does include the city of Cedar Rapids. You can see there are some pretty strong winds going right now through northwest Cedar Rapids into the northern Cedar Rapids metro area. That tornado warning, as the radar indicated throughout, that will continue here until 6:15 Central Time. This does include Hiawatha, Marion, Cedar Rapids, Bertram, Mount Vernon, the Lisbon area, Martell, Springville. Anamosa, you're not technically inside of the tornado warning, but there is a much broader damaging wind threat that is evolving. We're talking winds of 70 miles per hour here, eastern Iowa. This extends from basically Dubuque County, airs along north, just north of Highway 20, and as far south as almost I-80. It's a very large severe thunderstorm warning here. If we put on the more traditional radar view, you kind of see there are a few different areas that we're watching in terms of the strongest winds right now. Here's again a live view on northeast Cedar Rapids. The winds are certainly picking up once again. Looks pretty strong there. That car is kind of making a U-turn, kind of rethinking life decisions there. So now would be a great time to take shelter if you're in the Cedar Rapids metro area with these storms actively going through right now. I'll leave the live camera on here for a second while I do a few more things behind the scenes here. But again, pretty large active warning in effect. Some recent reports. We did have a wind gust in Independence, Iowa. That was a 55 miles per hour. We had another report there in Mount Auburn. That's kind of southeast of LaPorte City, northwest of Vinton area. That was of 70 miles per hour. We do have another report here from Manchester, Iowa. That is of 54 miles per hour. So at the moment, we don't have an active confirmed tornado with that tornado warning, the Cedar Rapids metro area, but just to the north, we did actually have a previously reported tornado. This was observed by law enforcement. I will say I don't exactly know how they were able to see this tornado. We'll see because that thing is very wrapped in rain. But we do apparently have a tornado, a confirmed tornado here. This confirmed tornado likely would have been near center point. We have an earlier report. Let me see if I actually have a report here. Tornado on the ground, I know that much. I'm trying to see exactly it was over center point. So confirmed tornado over center point, Iowa. That's kind of what I just alluded to. That is moving kind of east, so center point over the central city and down towards Alburnett. That is the area where we did have a confirmed tornado. This is northern portions of Lynn County. And then for the Cedar Rapids metro area, a different tornado warning. Nothing confirmed with this one at the moment, but we are still seeing the rotation. Now look at this. Look at this view right now. This is northeast Cedar Rapids. Intense winds are now moving through the northeastern portions of Cedar Rapids right now. Very strong winds through the metro. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some power outages in the not so distant future. I'm just going to leave that camera up because that is a very good view of the chaos that's unfolding right now in Cedar Rapids. Really, really strong winds. My goodness. I don't have any reports at the moment in the Cedar Rapids metro area. Just looking at it, I would guess that's probably pushing maybe 60 to 70 miles per hour. That's very intense winds. There is an active tornado warning as well as a severe thunderstorm warning for the Cedar Rapids metro area. Looks like we actually now have a report from Marion measured of 65, so nailed that one. I said 60 to 70. We got that report of 65 right in the middle. That is in Marion. That is as of 5 minutes ago. Yeah, that's some pretty good stuff here. Safe in Wyoming. You know, there is a Wyoming, Iowa. I know you're not talking about Wyoming, Iowa, but there is a Wyoming, Iowa, and I believe that is actually in this warning. It's just outside the tornado warning there, just east of the tornado warning there. Right now, not under a warning, but the severe weather is coming your way. I can actually show you here on the radar view. There actually is a Wyoming, Illinois. Zay asking, this will enter central Illinois. Great question. Let me go ahead and work on something. Take another live view here in northeast Cedar Rapids. I'm going to answer your question here. This is really just the beginning of what will likely be a pretty long duration severe weather event as we go through the next several hours. And this will likely persist as we go through the evening. Let me pull up the radar view here. This is a look at the high resolution rapid refresh. Actually doing a pretty good job here indicating this. So it's not doing a terrible job as where we are right now. Stepping this through time, it reaches the Mississippi River probably around 7 p.m. Central Time. Continues to tear across northern Illinois into central Illinois. This is valid as of 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock, it starts pushing into the Chicago metro area, down towards areas like Peoria, Springfield, Illinois, down to Bloomington as well. And this will continue. So this will be a pretty long duration wind event for the next several hours. Really, this storm is kind of just getting going right now. But again, that's a live view over in northeast Cedar Rapids. Taking a look again at the radar view. Here's again a look at the current radar. Again, the tornado warning continues for northern Lynn County. That will also continue here. You can see Jones County. That's southern portions of Jones County. Does not include Anamosa. This will also include, as I mentioned, northern Cedar County. So that does include basically the Highway 30 corridor in northern Cedar County. That will include Mount Vernon, the Lisbon area, Mechanicsville, and that will likely continue eastward all the way towards Stanwood. They are still rolling with a confirmed tornado warning with that northern Lynn County storm. That's an observed tornado there. That was last seen near Center Point. All right, so the winds are starting to calm down here a bit in northeast Cedar Rapids. Let me see if I can go a bit farther east. Try and get some better live pictures. Let's see what it looks like on the south side of Cedar Rapids right now. Actually looking okay. The strongest winds are certainly on the northern side in that core. Marion's in the thick of it right now. You actually probably are now getting to the point where you're past the worst of it. But Marion is certainly in the warning. We did have a confirmed report there of 65 miles per hour. Looking at the radar view, let me pull up the velocity view. And you can see there remains some pretty strong indications of wind still upstream of Marion. So there will be more issues likely coming towards the Marion area. Strong winds are now moving through northern Lynn County. Let's see what we got going on up here. If I can find something. Well, that camera's having a rough day. We're not going to look at that one. That camera is unavailable. That could be because of a power outage. I'm kind of just looking through a few different cameras here. How about Clarksville, Iowa? I have to remember exactly where Clarksville is. I did at some point. Confirmed tornado. Yeah, again, there is that confirmed tornado report up there. Last in your center point. That was the last report I heard. Clarksville, you're already done with the weather, it looks like. The worst of it is now kind of east of you in Clarksville. I know, no live chasers on this stream. We're still young. Young broadcast still. We're getting there. Again, look at the reflectivity view. Again, you can see up that way, you're just kind of dealing with some rain still, but the worst of it is now east of you. We now actually have a tornado warning here in the Des Moines metro area. We had a tornado via law enforcement about 10 minutes ago. This storm is now moving through the Des Moines metro area. My goodness, there's a lot of activity here. Let me pull up. Let's see what it looks like in Des Moines right now. Worst of it there, kind of moving through almost downtown. Let me see if I can get any traffic cameras here in the Des Moines metro area. That rotation will be just south of I-235. Sometimes the DOT likes to play Storm Chaser with their cameras. I'm trying to see if they're moving them around at all. New tornado warning there. You can see extending now southeast out of the Des Moines metro area. That will extend towards Carlisle, Hartford, Runnels. So that's a new tornado warning there. This remains a confirmed tornado through the Des Moines metro area. DMTV 05. Let me pull up a new camera here. Just trying to jump around some cameras. Let me pull up this camera feed. So here's a live view in Des Moines. This is downtown Des Moines. You can see some really dark skies. I mean, that is really dark. It's, 5:50, and you can see just how dark it is there, the Des Moines metro area. So really intense storms are here going through the metro right now of Des Moines as well. So Iowa's two largest cities are both getting impacted by severe weather right now. Cedar Rapids, you're in it right now. I'd hold off a little bit longer before I was saying you're in the clear. Amanda, I appreciate it. Thank you. Unfortunately, that's not in the cards here in the short term. But again, that's a live view in downtown Des Moines. We'll go back to the radar view. While I pop around a few other cameras to see what's going on here. But we did have a confirmed tornado. This is from a National Weather Service employee near Windsor Heights. That's in the Des Moines metro area, basically in the metro, just north of downtown Des Moines. We had that tornado report. So this is a pretty strong line as well. We'll jump back over towards eastern Iowa, where we have active tornado warnings in place as well. We have another report here in Marion. They got 75 miles per hour. A report there in Marion. The north side of Marion is 75 mile per hour wind gust. That's not really that surprising to me whatsoever. That was a very intense storm that went through the Cedar Rapids metro area. Again, that's what we're looking at right now in the radar view. So we have dropped the confirmed tornado reports here in Lynn County. So everything is now radar indicated. Still take shelter, of course. But we've lost that confirmed tornado threat. Looking at the radar view, I'm starting to kind of see this right here. That's indication of what looks like a rear inflow jet starting to develop here. That to me says that the destructive wind threat with this line is likely just really getting going. So just looking at this radar view right now, this is starting to kind of get a kind of a concerning appearance here. I want to kind of animate this. You can kind of see there was this bow, and you're starting to see that clearing precipitation behind it, some lower reflectivities behind it. Ooh, I messed that up, my bad. Starting to see some clearing reflectivities behind it. This is likely a pretty stout rear inflow jet. So I would say the Cedar Rapids metro area is not in the clear yet. Still some pretty strong winds. Marion, and if you are farther east, down towards Springville, Martell, Mount Vernon, Lisbon, the worst is still coming your way in that part of Lynn County. I'm jumping around some cameras trying to see if I can get any view as to what's going on here. It looks like the DOT is really... The DOT is actually probably... their headquarters, Iowa DOT, is inside of this tornado warning, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're kind of taking some shelter precautions, but I know their building is kind of like a fortress. I've been in there before. It's pretty wild. Let's take a look. Let's do CRTV. Let's try this. CRTV 47. We're going to be kind of jumping around the area here. We're going to now take a look at... Let me get this camera pulled up here. So this is a live view in Marion. You can see the really strong winds continue. This is Marion in the northeast side of the Cedar Rapids metro area, and really intense winds continue there as well. So if you're in Marion, you need to make sure you're staying in your safe place as well, because look at these really strong winds. That is absolutely howling through the Cedar Rapids metro area right now. Visibility is very low. Very strong winds are going on. We do have, again, the most recent report there was 75 miles per hour confirmed in Marion. So these storms are nothing to mess around with. We're still getting some really intense winds moving through the Cedar Rapids metro area right now. Wow. And right now we are watching really strong winds going through Marion. You can just see the very low visibility, very intense winds. Most recent report there were wind gusts of 75 miles per hour measured in Marion. Looking at that camera view, I do think that looks pretty legitimate. Looking at the radar view again, we are kind of seeing what appears to be the possibility of a rear inflow jet kind of starting to try and take shape here across the northern portion to the Cedar Rapids metro area. And this would indicate that the strongest winds are going through there right now. On the velocity view, you can kind of see this kind of core of stronger winds. That is moving off to the east and southeast. In fact, they just issued a brand new severe thunderstorm warning, a very large warning. This is now 80 mile per hour observed. This is now a confirmed destructive thunderstorm moving through the Cedar Rapids metro area. This will be moving into Cedar County, northern Cedar County, much of Jones County, and then it will continue moving eastward. So the Quad Cities, it's heading in your general direction. Very intense storm now continues with this. And again, just looking at that live view in Marion, you can really see very powerful winds are moving through the Cedar Rapids metro area. This storm is really just getting going, and the strongest wind will continue for quite some time. Wow. All right, so that's the Cedar Rapids metro area. Let's jump back towards Des Moines. We're kind of moving back and forth because we have multiple storms that we're watching right now.
The National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning.
That's the Cedar Rapids metro area. That's that brand new severe thunderstorm warning for the Cedar Rapids metro. Again, destructive 80 mile per hour winds now moving through the Cedar Rapids metro area. I'm kind of bouncing around the Des Moines area to see if I can get any view of the storms in there. It kind of looks like everything is just rain now, though. We have a new report here. 2 outdoor sheds destroyed. That's in Marion. Again, we're talking about destructive 80-mile-per-hour winds, as well as some very potential of tornadoes as well. So the tornado threat is present, and we're watching that really destructive wind threat as well. The wind threat is actively evolving. We are seeing that actively moving through the Cedar Rapids metro area right now. My goodness, that's a really intense storm, guys. This is unfortunately kind of what we were concerned about. We've been talking about this ramping up severe weather threat for the last few days. Yesterday, we're talking about the timing that if we were to have that later initiation, that second potential with the late afternoon and evening activity, that would likely be more severe, and that's exactly what we're looking at right now. So here's a live view in Marion, northeast Cedar Rapids. I'm going to jump over on the radar view towards the Des Moines area again. I think they may have done a kind of a weird thing with this tornado warning. Probably gone over by Des Moines. I'm trying to see what's happening here. Well, maybe not. That kind of makes sense. Kind of a messy storm moving through the Des Moines metro right now. Let me jump you over towards Des Moines. Here's a look at the radar view in Des Moines. We still have that active tornado warning in the southeast side of Des Moines. It's now a radar indicated. It's no longer confirmed. However, we did have confirmed tornadoes moving through the Des Moines metro area. So that is something that actively did happen. There were 2 reports of tornadoes. Whoop, excuse me. One was just south of Grimes at 6:38. That was 5:38 Central. And we had another one right in Urbandale on the northern side of the Des Moines city limits at 5:43. We also had a gust of 53 miles per hour measured just north of Ankeny. This severe thunderstorm warning continues as well, though. This severe thunderstorm warning will continue. Let me see if I can move. Doesn't want to move for me. That's fine. Severe thunderstorm warning continues. So we got Polk County, Story County, Marshall County. We also have Marion County, Jasper County, Dallas County, and Warren County. That is going to be continuing here until 6 p.m. Actually, that's right now. So that severe thunderstorm warning is officially just expired. I'm waiting to see if they issue a new one. Otherwise, that tornado warning continues until... So the tornado threat continues there for Indianola and Carlisle around 6:05, so about 5 minutes from now. All right, let's jump back to Cedar Rapids. We're going kind of back and forth. A big line of severe weather continues to move through. Here's another, again, live look at Marion. And we got some big problems here moving through the Cedar Rapids metro area at this hour. Let's take a look at maybe, I'm trying to look at some other cameras here, maybe the south side of Cedar Rapids to kind of see what things are looking like. Let's try CRTV. Let's try this view. Go back to the radar for a second. Stand by. Pulling a different camera here. So this is around the S-curve in downtown Cedar Rapids. The winds are kind of calming down a little bit. That's some good news. I think the worst of it may be about over here in kind of the central part of Cedar Rapids. I'm kind of looking to see where the worst is right now. The worst would be, if we look at radar, would probably be moving Springville, Martella right now, and I know there's no cameras out that way. Otherwise, Mount Vernon, Lisbon, you're getting into some action right now as well. There is, I believe, a camera. Springville camera is done. These are all photo cameras. I'm kind of just, again, popping around different cameras to see what's available here. But again, the tornado warning does continue here. Let's see. Tornado warning will continue until 6:15 Central. Again, this is a radar indicated threat. This does include Marion, Mount Vernon, Springville, Bertram, Martell, the Marion Airport, Squaw Creek Park, Lisbon, and Morley. That will continue there. And of course, we have that overarching severe thunderstorm warning as well for a destructive 80-mile-per-hour wind. So this remains a very destructive wind threat developing with this activity as well. You can kind of see here on the velocity view, on the radar view, the strongest winds are starting to push here. And we're also getting a good punch here in Dubuque County. Let me move up here. This looks pretty intense too. This is now 90-mile-per-hour winds. Wow. Okay, this is a 90-mile-per-hour wind threat. So we have a confirmed 80-mile-per-hour wind gust here near New Vienna. That's just north of Dyersville. Powerful wind gust about to move into Dubuque. So Dubuque, you need to be prepared for this because we have some big problems about to move into Dubuque right now. When did Dubuque add all these traffic cameras? Ah, look at them. I didn't know Dubuque has all these traffic cameras now. That's cool. That must be new. What are the labels on these? Do I have labels? Looks like they're actually like brand new because they don't even have like any of the infrastructure yet. Interesting. Okay, let me see if I can pull some views here in Dubuque and get them to you because Dubuque area looks like they're about to have some big problems. Here's to get a live view on the S-curve in downtown Cedar Rapids where things are finally kind of calming down a little bit, which is exactly what you like to see. I'm working on pulling some cameras here in the Dubuque area because things are going to go downhill real fast. Amanda says she lost power. April, hope you're having a good one and staying safe. Again, looking at the radar view, a very destructive wind event is unfolding. This will be moving right through Dyersville right now, Farley over to Centralia, Piasta, and then Dubuque, Bernard. This will be coming towards you very closely. This very powerful line of winds will continue. Cascade, you're starting to get some really intense winds as well. This is by far probably the worst of the weather right now. There is a camera here in Piasta. I'm trying to see if I can pull up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, though. Let me see what I can pull off here. I don't know if this will work. Let's experiment, shall we? Nope, that did not work. Okay, well then let's do this. Actually, yeah, I could do. We can do. Let's do this. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of things behind the scenes here. It's a one-man show here, so we're trying to do the best that we can. Here's a live view near Piasta. This is about to get very intense. Piasta is right. Let me go back to the radar real quickly. Piasta is right here. The strongest winds are moving through Epworth, Farley, just moved through Worthington. So Piasta, where this camera is apparently situated, it's about to go downhill very quickly. Here's another live view at the camera. Again, this will be in Piasta. I appreciate it, Jared, but there's really nothing anybody can do other than keep me. If I need a producer, I need to hire a producer. Let's get this show big enough where I can hire a producer, right? Watching this view here in Piasta, you can see things are getting darker. It's starting to rain. I'm waiting for that gust front to hit because it's got to be really close. It's basically moving into Piasta right now. It's at US 20 at Bryant Street, which again is right there in the circled area. See how dark it's gotten here. So this is going to be moving through Piasta very shortly. I don't have money to be a producer. Yeah, we got to get this big enough, you know, view count big enough to be self-sustaining, right? Let me, we'll keep an eye on that camera. Let me look around and see what else is happening. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued farther west in central Iowa for Poweshiek County, Polk County, Marshall County, Marion County, Tama County, Mahaska County, Jasper County, and Warren County. That will continue until 7 p.m. We do have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. If you're in that area, that's a considerable threat with 70-mile-per-hour winds likely. This will include areas like Newton, down to Prairie City, Colfax. We got Mitchellville. This will go northeast towards Grinnell, Malcolm, Brooklyn, Gilman, Laurel. The city of Tama is technically not in this brand new severe thunderstorm warning. Again, we're watching this view because these storms have to be so close. Oh, it's east of Piasta. That's okay. That might explain why we're not seeing it yet. I was gonna say I don't understand how we have no action here yet. I'm gonna keep an eye on that. What's really concerning, I'm gonna look at. Let me go back to the radar view. What's really concerning on this radar view is when you have a really tight gradient between really low reflectivity, so very light rain, and very heavy rain. That is a very strong signal for very intense winds. So things are, it's going to go like fine to like chaos very fast. So again, here's a live view in Piasta. This is east of Piasta. Where we do expect things to go, you can see the wind starting to pick up. Traffic for now is moving along just fine. I want to watch this view because I know the gust front is very close. Going through some reports, we had a measured wind of 97 miles per hour. 97 miles per hour measured in Holy Cross. This will be moving into Dubuque shortly. This is an observed destructive thunderstorm moving through Dubuque County right now. This is near Bankston, west of Dubuque, but it will be moving to Dubuque very closely. This continues for Dubuque and Bellevue. Here we go. We're starting to see the winds really pick up here in the east side of Piasta. The winds are really starting to pick up. You're starting to see a lot of debris flying around. So the winds are really starting to approach here. You can see a lot of leaf and tree debris flying through the air as well. The strongest winds are just now starting to hit Piasta and are through Piasta. But again, this does continue for Dubuque down to Bernard as well. Winds are really starting to crank here. I'm gonna do something else kind of behind the scenes here. Okay, we're still. I thought we lost the camera for a second. I was like, now's not the time. I'm going to check and see what else is going on here in Dubuque. I believe another view. Checking cameras. Here's a live view in Dubuque. So that's a live view in Dubuque. You can see the really intense winds moving through the Dubuque metro area right now as well. The rain is flying faster than the traffic is driving. A pretty surefire indication of very strong winds. We'll go back to Piasta. Things are looking okay. This camera is kind of going in and out, so I wouldn't be surprised if we're dealing with some issues there. All right, here's another view. This is a northwest side of Dubuque. I mean, zero visibility moving through Dubuque right now. So very dangerous, destructive storm is moving through the Dubuque metro area right now. We do have a real quick, I do want to update, do we have a tornado warning farther south, just east of the Cedar Rapids metro area. Tornado warning for Martell, Mount Vernon, Lisbon, Mechanicsville, over towards Olin. We have a brand new radar indicated tornado threat here. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near Lisbon. It's moving east at 45 miles per hour. Mechanicsville, Stanwood, Olin, and Morley are in the path of this storm. Seek shelter if you are in that area. This will be northern and northwestern Cedar County, as well as southern Jones County, southeastern Lynn County, also in that tornado warning. Very intense winds here. You can see really moving through Dubuque. I'm happy these cameras are still hanging on, honestly. It looks like the worst of the storm might be basically targeting Dubuque right now. I'm jumping through some cameras. Dubuque is likely seeing the worst of the storm right now. Wild storm, guys. Again, that's a live view in Dubuque. Real quick, I want to take away, and we'll go back at the radar view. Just kind of let's do a wide view here. We do have active severe weather, southern Wisconsin all the way through central Iowa. In fact, it's a tornado warning in southwest Iowa, just east of Omaha. So this line is just getting going, and this will be moving east and southeast with time. So if you're way downstream, the Chicago metro area, Rockford, down to the Quad Cities, Peoria, even Springfield, Illinois, this line will likely continue for quite some time as it heads out that way. So very dangerous line of storms continues to develop. Again, here's a live view in Dubuque. I'm going to go pop over. Let's take a look again at the velocity view. Jeez. Man, that's a heck of a storm moving through Dubuque County right now. I think that Piasta camera that we were looking at was in a little bit of a valley. I think that's part of the reason why the view didn't look as wild as it probably arguably should. I'm just kind of jumping through some cameras here in Dubuque. Here's another view. This is the east side of Dubuque. You can see the really intense winds continue flying through the Dubuque metro area right now. Dubuque is likely seeing the worst of the storm. If you're just popping in, we did have a measured 97 mile per hour wind gust near Holy Cross. That's northern Dubuque County. 97 miles per hour. This is a destructive thunderstorm moving through Dubuque County right now. The worst of it is probably just south of Dubuque. Move through Piasta. This will be moving into Bernard, Lamont, Zwingle as well, and towards Bellevue. So Bellevue, this will be heading in your direction ultimately as well. So very dangerous storm. Jones says, hi from Cedar Rapids. Hope you stayed safe. Very intense wind there. Flash flood warning for Cedar Rapids. Yes, very intense winds there. Yes, Mary, I can do that. I was just doing that, but I can do it again for you. Here, we'll take a look again at the radar view. Right now, the worst of this storm is kind of moving into Dubuque County, southern Dubuque County right now. Piasta. This will be moving towards Bellevue. Bellevue's in the path of this. Let's go ahead and put the reflectivity back on. We'll widen the view. The worst of the line is just really starting to get going here, as this is racing east and southeast. So this line right now will be targeting Rockford towards the Quad Cities, down towards Ottumwa, Burlington. That area, that's where this line is inevitably going. You can see they issued this brand new severe thunderstorm warning. That's 70 mile per hour winds there, along and south of Interstate 80. That's 70 mile per hour winds. So that Keokuk County, Johnson County, Washington County, Benton County, Jefferson County, Lynn County, and Iowa County. That severe thunderstorm warning will continue until 7:15. So the worst of the storm is now getting ready to move towards Iowa City, Williamsburg, North English, Sigourney, Washington, Kelowna. So Johnson County, Keokuk, Washington County, and Iowa County. Really the worst of this storm is now moving in your direction right now as well. So we have a whole lot of action happening here. Let me go ahead and start looking at some more traffic cameras. See if we can find anything else going on. Let's see what our Piasta cam looks like. Yeah, I think this is in a bit of a valley, which is why it's a little bit protected. Let's beep bop down to Interstate 80. Let's see. Black Hawk and Waterloo, the worst of it is now done with you. The worst of your weather has passed in the Waterloo, Cedar Falls area. Let's take a look. This is ADTV 204. What am I doing here? Here we go. So let's take a look at give me a second. So this is Interstate 80. Here's a live view on Interstate 80. This was, I know 80 is very broad, standby. This is near Victor, Brooklyn. So oh wow. It's the camera getting shaken all sorts here. They actually might be trying to control this camera as well, maybe. But this is near Victor and Brooklyn on Interstate 80. Farther west, you can see really intense winds are now racing down Interstate 80. So, excuse me. This will be moving into the Iowa City metro area fairly shortly. Williamsburg as well. I'm going to try to look at some traffic cameras here to see what I can find. Trying to see if any cameras have the leading edge of this line very clear. I know there's like 9,000 cameras in Iowa City, so I'm trying to just find a good camera. I'll go back to the radar real quick. Looks like we have a new tornado warning. We have new tornado warning here on the leading edge. So Jared was talking about Wyoming, the state, earlier, but jokingly, Wyoming, Iowa is now in a tornado warning. This does continue. This is a new tornado warning here for Wyoming. We got Olin, Oxford Junction, Monmouth, Maquoketa, Del Mar, Lost Nation, Toronto, over towards Welton. We have a brand new tornado warning here. This is a radar indicated threat. Tornado warning will continue until 7 p.m. If we look at the reflectivity view, I don't even have to use it, but here's the area of interest right here. Pretty clear indication of rotation on radar. This is just south of Wyoming. This will be moving into Oxford Junction and Monmouth very shortly. It's a pretty strong indication of rotation here. There might be a little bit of a debris drop out there. Not enough where I'm super convinced that that's a tornado there, but I'm gonna watch this product just to make sure. But definitely circulation right here. This will be moving towards Wyoming and Oxford Junction. Just crossed over Highway 38. It's just south of Highway 64. This will be approaching again Oxford Junction over towards Monmouth, Baldwin, Lost Nation. So this is a circulation right now. Right now we don't have a confirmed tornado, but it does have a pretty classic look to it. You can kind of see that little leading edge hook. That's what we would expect to see with a possible tornado. And that would be moving towards Oxford Junction, Wyoming being your safe place as well, Monmouth and Lost Nation. So we're watching all sorts of different storms right now. Going back west on I-80, really intense winds now are starting to hit the Williamsburg area. This was again near Victor and Ladora. That's where this camera is located. Let me see if I can pull this one up. Stand by. It 210. Let me real quick go back. We might have just lost that camera actually. Anyway, I wouldn't be shocked. Look at this. Holy cow. Really strong winds now. This is near Victor, but just west of Williamsburg on Interstate 80. This is a very powerful line of storms, and this is what will be approaching Williamsburg, Iowa City, North English. Right now it's warned for 70-mile-per-hour winds. That could be, I wouldn't be surprised if that's even stronger than that. That's a really intense line of storms moving through. This would be kind of Iowa County. You can see that car is barely moving with her flashers on. I mean, way out of the speed limit. You can see the lightning flashes as well. Very, very strong winds are moving through this area right now. This camera is near Ladora. Man. So again, we got all sorts of different issues all over the place right now. There was a tornado funnel cloud report earlier down by Red Oak, Iowa, southwest Iowa. That storm appears to have weakened considerably. But again, you're looking right now at a severe thunderstorm warning on I-80 just west of Williamsburg. Very strong winds moving through that area right now. This will be moving into Iowa City in the not-so-distant future. So Iowa City, strap it down. I mean, the good news is traffic. It's fairly light. When I'm looking at some cameras, of course, as I say that, there's all the cars come out of nowhere. But there doesn't seem to be as much traffic as normal, which is good. Man, these are some very intense storms. Let's try. Let me try one more camera. This is just west of Williamsburg. Let me get this real quick. Sorry, I'm working on a few different screens. That's why I keep looking away. I got a few different screens I'm working on right now. I want to try... Let's try this camera. That doesn't look as exciting as it did earlier. Let me refresh this. I mean, that camera itself, it really shows the intensity that's coming in. We're really losing cameras quickly, too. The amount of cameras that I have available to me, they're starting to drop like flies. So we're likely starting to see some power outages kind of expand. This is camera 210. Let me try, let's try this feed. Oh, we're good. All right. This is just west of Williamsburg, another live view out that way. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm that's coming down Interstate 80 towards the Iowa City metro area. But again, we do have that active tornado warning as well. This tornado warning will continue until 7:15, or excuse me, 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Oxford Junction, Wyoming, Lost Nation, Maquoketa, Delmar, Welton, over towards Charlotte. This is a radar-indicated tornado warning. The air circulation is right here, so it's getting very close to Oxford Junction. If you're in Oxford Junction, that's a pretty decent area of rotation coming your way. Widening the view again, you can see this line continues to pour through eastern Iowa. It's really still, I think it's still in an intensifying state. We're likely probably starting to reach its peak intensity at some point here. But you can see it's a big line of storms. Extends from like southern Wisconsin, so just south of Madison, and it wraps into eastern Iowa over towards Des Moines metro area. And this will continue to expand east and southeast over the next several hours. Starting to kind of look towards the Iowa City metro area. We do have some reports of flash flooding now in the Cedar Rapids metro area, where we do have a flash flood warning in effect. It looks like Cedar Rapids may have escaped the absolute worst of it. We do have a 70 mile per hour wind gust measured in Swisher, so this will be moving towards into North Liberty, if it isn't there already. Kind of looking at some traffic cams. It doesn't look too bad yet in North Liberty. Kind of just jumping around a little bit. Let's go back towards Dubuque. We got some reports. We got 70 mile per hour wind report here on the west side of Dubuque. Bring the radar view back up. 70 mile per hour wind gust on the west side of Dubuque. South of Dubuque, we have a measured gust of 79 miles per hour. That's an ASAW station, which means it's the airport. So that's the official reporting site for Dubuque. On the south side of Dubuque, with a 79 mile per hour wind gust that's measured, and that's really that's scientific grade, very accurate wind data. So you know that's a very trustworthy report there. We had that 70 mile per hour wind gust there in Swisher as well. This 90 mile per hour wind threat is now getting ready to move into Bellevue. So it's moving into Bellevue shortly. So if you're in Bellevue, get ready because it's coming your way. We had multiple reports now over around 80 to above 80 miles per hour. Mayor says she'll keep us updated in Durant. Much appreciated. We'll go back to the traffic cams. Let me see if I can get another view, a better view. We're losing a lot of cameras here. We got the Iowa City metro area getting ready to get impacted here. Let's see. Tiffin, how are we looking? Let's take a look at the west side of Iowa City. Let me pull up this traffic camera here. ICTV 35. So this is the west side of the Iowa City metro area. This is just on the western side of the I-80 and 380 interchange. We have a new tornado warning now in southwestern Wisconsin. This is for Lafayette County, western Lafayette County, and south central Wisconsin. We have a severe thunderstorm capable of producing tornadoes and extensive straight-line wind damage. This is located near Cuba City, 10 miles south of Platteville, and it's moving east at 30. Darlington, Shullsburg, Belmont, Benton, New Diggins, Elk Grove, Fayette, and Lead Mine are some of the places that will be impacted by this tornado warning. I'll pull up the radar there. That's again a look at the radar view. You can kind of make out the tornado warning right here. That red polygon. But again, the other threat too, of course, is the very powerful wind gust. You don't want to completely just focus on the tornado threat, which might be a small area, while the wind threat's much more extensive and much larger. So that's continuing there in southern Wisconsin as well. So dangerous storm there. We still are tracking this tornado warning. This is still a radar indicated threat. We have a cable producing a tornado near Oxford Junction, so that continues. It's Going to be near Lost Nation in Monmouth, Toronto, Baldwin, Elwood, Massillon Park, Eden Valley Refuge, Walnut Grove Park around 6:35. So that storm continues. It looks like a little hook here on the south side, the very far south end of that polygon, that tornado warning polygon. Let me look at the velocity view. Yeah, that's kind of what I would expect. The tornado threat being right about here, just south of Oxford Junction. So Toronto, Loudon, you're not technically in the tornado warning, but it's pretty close for comfort. If you're in Loudon, you know, maybe take some shelter there. Very close. You should be for the severe weather anyway. So we're going to have some pretty strong winds here. You can see moving through Wyoming towards Oxford Junction. That's unrelated necessarily to the tornado itself. We've got some more reports. 76-mile-per-hour wind gust in Fairview. We had 67-mile-per-hour wind gust just west of Springville. So this line has really meant business. It's done a lot of it's been a very intense wind. Let's go back to Iowa City. Live view here on the west side of Iowa City. Visibility is certainly down. The winds are certainly increasing as well. If you guys are watching, let me know what you guys are seeing where you are. Hopefully you're staying safe in the weather. We have a measured gust here near Hazel Green, Wisconsin of 72 miles per hour. That is near that tornado warning there in southern Wisconsin. They have extended, I'm going to go back to the radar view here. They have extended that severe thunderstorm warning for 90 mile per hour winds. You can kind of see that sharp gradient here. Very intense winds, maybe a rear inflow jet starting here. So Galena is really starting to see the worst of it right now. Galena, likely some very intense winds there. This new severe thunderstorm warning is for 90 mile per hour winds. Galena, Scales Mound, Elizabeth, Hanover, Woodbine, Stockton, Apple River, Nora, Lena, Kent, Pearl City, Loran, Mount Carroll, Freeport, Cedarville, Orangeville, Dakota. This is all in Illinois, of course. Illinois, so northwestern Illinois, we're now starting to see a very intense line of thunderstorms move up that way as well. This is the same storm that moved through the Dubuque metro area, where we had that measured gust near 80 miles per hour, and there's likely some stronger winds than that. Again, this will be moving into northwestern portions of Illinois right now. Let me look at the velocity view. We're starting to get a little bit of an artifact here because the radar, it's shooting this way, and you're not getting the best radar data now because the winds are blowing like almost perpendicular to that radar beam. The wind is blowing, you know, almost perpendicular to the radar beam. It's not seeing it as good as it could. For best radar sampling, you have the wind blowing right at the radar, so it's a nice clean radar view. But the problem is in northwest Illinois, we're now starting to get to the point where the radar is getting a little, it's not at the best angle anymore to really see that storm. So just based on those original reports, we had wind gust over 80 miles per hour. We probably will be looking at 80 to 90 mile per hour winds now moving into northwest Illinois. Real quick, I want to talk about that tornado warning that was up there in southern Wisconsin. Here's a look at that right now in the radar view. We do have this circulation kind of going through Benton right now, maybe another kind of weak air circulation here, moving towards Darlington. Both these continue with that most recent radar scan, so kind of two different areas. And they're both, you know, they both seem legitimate too. So Darlington, there could be some problems heading your way. Yeah, we're too far away from the radar to see a good debris signature there. You can really see it in spectrum with two right there, two bullseyes of rotation. So Darlington and Benton, you're in extreme danger right now for a possible tornado as well as very strong wind gust. But this is, again, southern Wisconsin. Shullsburg is kind of going to be also in line for this possible tornado threat. Very strong wind threat now evolving. We'll jump down south. The Quad Cities are now under a severe thunderstorm warning. The Quad Cities for 70-mile-per-hour winds. This is a considerable threat as it moves towards the Quad Cities metro area. We'll jump back up to Iowa City. You can see some very strong winds are now moving through the Iowa City metro area at this point in time. Just looking through some cameras here to kind of see what we can see. A static image, I guess it is. Just looking around the Iowa City metro to see if I can get any better views of what's going on. Let's take a look at... this is downtown Iowa City. Whoop. That is obviously breaking my graphics, but that's fine. That's the live view at the old Capitol or the Pentecross there in Iowa City. So we're starting to see some very dark skies moving into Iowa City right now. Really hard to make out what the winds are at this point in time. But certainly a lot of problems moving into Iowa City right now. You can see the lightning flashing there in Iowa City. News station got a good pick of the tornado in Des Moines. Love that. I'll have to go take a look. Aldo says, I'm in the Cedar Rapids area. Air was like a wall and was liquid when I stepped out pre-storm. Supernatural, look at the lightning. Unreal storm noise on hammer. Yeah, I mean, the lightning itself probably was doing all sorts of funny business to radio signatures. I'm sure that was just a mess. Wow. That's a pretty wild tornado there in the Des Moines Metro. My goodness. Sorry, just looking at some photos there. Thank you, Jared. Real quick, let's go back to the radar view. Here's where things stand. The storms are going through Iowa City right now. Checking to see if my one of my favorite DOT cameras down here is like an awesome view of like a little anemometer. Oh, it does. Let me do ICTV 12. So I'm a nerd. I'm sorry. Everyone's like, what the heck was that? Where's that? Here we go. I always loved using this camera when on TV. I'm pulling it up. Stand by. Because it has a little anemometer on there, so you can kind of get an idea of the winds, you know, going through there. This is the southwest side of Iowa City. Yeah, 97-mile-per-hour wind gust. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. That was with the line that was moving into Dubuque. So thankfully, I've not seen any reports of major structural damage anywhere. But that would have been enough to cause some significant issues. Again, what you're looking at now is a live view in the southwest side of Iowa City. And the winds are blowing pretty good there. Just jumping around to see what other views I can find here. Here's a look again at the radar. The good news is, as I kind of look at things, it looks like everyone has been pretty well behaved regarding severe weather. I don't see a lot of reports of like crashes and stuff like that, which is awesome. There was a report it struck a news tower and some stuff was down for a bit. I'm sure you know those towers have a lot of gear in them. Yes, that is very true. Here TV 12. We lost, I believe, during the derecho in 2020. I believe our tower lost some equipment that was on it. We do have some issues here in downtown Cedar Rapids. This is kind of coming into the S-curve from the north. We got a stalled vehicle there in the right lane. Nothing major, too major there, but there is a little bit of action there on the roadways. Back on the radar. Get ready, the Quad Cities, because it's coming your way. We have a whole host of tornado warnings now moving into northwest Illinois as well. So we got tornado warning. We have a new tornado warning here. This is a radar indicated threat for Joe Davies County, Carroll County, and Stevenson County in northwest Illinois. We got that tornado threat as well as that destructive wind threat. We're kind of at the point of the night where we're going to start seeing these little spin-ups here. Really anywhere on this line could potentially do it. It looks like the strongest potential of rotation would be right about there. This would be right in northwest Illinois. Scales Mound, Illinois, Woodbine, Stockton, Elizabeth, Pleasant Valley, Kent, Pearl City, Winslow, Nora, Warren. That'll be heading in your direction. Nothing confirmed on that. That's a radar indicated threat, but that is a pretty intense line of storms moving into northwest Illinois at this point in time. Oh, I did not mean to close that. Oh, darn. Here's another view in Iowa City. This courtesy of the University of Iowa. Very strong winds are moving through that city right now for Iowa City. Power is on though, so that's good news. It looks like we got power and things are on, so that's good. You can really see the rain bands flying through there. Again, this is a downtown Iowa City, the old capital there. Pretty strong rain bands, very strong indications of wind there. Again, on the radar view, we have a tornado warning in northwest Illinois. We have another tornado warning here in eastern Iowa. This getting close to the Mississippi River. This one does look a little less organized, which is good. However, there's still likely some strong wind here. Oxford Junction, pretty strong indication of wind moving through you right now. This will be moving into Lost Nation, Delmar, Welton, and Charlotte shortly. That's that tornado threat. Moving on the southern edge of the line here, moving towards Washington County. It is well through Keokuk County as well. The worst is now starting to move through Sigourney over to Washington. That includes Keota, Wellman, Riverside, up towards Iowa City. Let me go ahead and try and find a new camera to look at here. So far, everything seems to be okay. I'm just looking at western Iowa and everything just out by Omaha is, just dandy. I did have Dubuque cameras. Just looking through some of the Dubuque cameras right now to see if I can find any damage, because the worst of that storm kind of went through that way, and I got nothing so far. Power and everything looks like it's on, so it looks like Dubuque kind of got away with getting out of the worst of it, which is very good news. Yeah, we got some traffic issues here in Cedar Rapids, the S-curve in Cedar Rapids. Nothing too much, just a stalled vehicle there. I'm trying to find some more views to see where the active weather is right now. We do have a report up by Holy Cross. This is where we did have that 98 mile per hour wind gust. We do have a report here that the roadway is blocked. It's Highway 3 eastbound between Holy Cross and Rickardsville. The roadway is blocked or shut down due to debris on the roadway. That could be trees or anything of that nature, just because we had really strong winds. That's just east of Holy Cross, where we had that wind near 100 miles per hour measured. So it's not at all surprising to me that we have some issues with road closures there. Kind of just setting the scene here. We'll go wide again. Here's a wide view of the activity. Again, we have severe weather ongoing from southern Wisconsin through eastern Iowa, now moving into northwest Illinois. So pretty strong line. The whole line is warned from just south of Madison over towards like Ottumwa in southeast Iowa. So a pretty long line of severe weather is now warned here. Looking just for some more live views to see what the storm is doing right now. Again, if you are in the severe weather area, I hope you're all staying safe. Very dangerous line of storms. Yeah, I'm just kind of jumping around the Iowa City metro area. Things are looking okay. Let's try this camera. What am I doing here? So this is far south Iowa City, the southern side of Iowa City, towards like the hills area, north of Riverside. I can just see just dark skies. Heavy rain continues. Doesn't look as severe here though, which is wonderful. Yeah, it's humid down there in Dubuque. I mean, the dew points are very high end. Just jumping around a little bit here. Trying to see if we have any new reports or anything too crazy happening. We do have a 60 mile per hour wind gust in Elizabeth, Elizabeth, Illinois. That's northwest Illinois, where that tornado warning is ongoing. We have a new report here in South English. That would be in Keokuk County, Iowa, of 60 mile per hour winds. We have 61 miles per hour in Rose Hill. We did have a 78 mile per hour wind gust near Searsboro. Searsboro is south of Grinnell. We were watching that traffic camera earlier on Interstate 80, and I thought those winds looked a lot stronger than what it was warned for at the point in time. So that gives me a little bit more credence that was probably the case. Where we may have had winds upwards of 60 to 70 or maybe 70 to 80 miles per hour. Because again, that was a report of 78 near Searsboro. Another report of 70 by Sully. And again, that's south of Interstate 80, south of Kellogg. We have a report of hail in Sigourney, sub-severe, but we do have hail. We do have a tornado warning here in eastern Iowa. This continues for Maquoketa, Delmar, Welton, Charlotte. This is still a radar-indicated threat. If we look at the storm relative velocity, not really a really clear signature of rotation. It would likely be right about here between Delmar and Toronto. This will be moving towards Charlotte and Welton. That's where that air circulation would be right about. Watching that very closely. And now I'm going to actually start looking for some cameras here, more towards the Quad Cities, as this line kind of makes a push down that way. Interestingly, a lot of these cameras are offline. Towards Dubuque, or Quad Cities. Yeah, I don't know. Everything is looking not too crazy here. The worst of the weather is likely happening away from my my cameras, any available traffic cameras and things like that at the moment. Here's a look in Riverside. Is a static image. Riverside, Iowa. You can see very low visibility. You can kind of see the car kind of hiding under the underpass. It's not tornado warned, so pardon me. My dog is making some weird noises. Give me a second. Stormy, what are you doing out there, buddy? All right, sorry about that. Stormy's hacking up a fur ball out there. All right, let's go back to the radar view. We'll roll with this for a little bit longer, and I think we'll wrap this up. I think the worst of the weather is kind of starting to wind down to an area that I can, really adequately cover it.
National Weather Service has issued a tornado watch.
So I just issued a tornado watch, and I'm guessing that would be for northern Illinois, towards the Chicagoland area. Yeah, he good. He just hacking up some fur ball. I gotta take him for a WALK at some point too. He's probably getting mad. He's been very good though. I'm surprised he's not bothering me more. Sometimes when I'm doing this, he kind of gets annoyed. All right, let's see here. Still just checking in. I got no really great views of this storm right now. This is like over towards West Branch. I mean, you can see the traffic is moving along just fine. No real major issues here. Just some heavy rain. That line of storms is quite a line of storms, though, as this continues. It's getting ready to move into the Quad Cities metro area. We do have that severe thunderstorm destructive warning into northwest Illinois as well. Sterling over towards Clinton. DeWitt, Welton, Andover, Thompson, Union Grove, Chadwick, Sterling, New Bedford, Hillsdale. That is a destructive thunderstorm capable of 80-mile-per-hour winds moving into northwest Illinois. And again, we have that severe thunderstorm warning here moving towards the Quad Cities down to Muscatine. This is getting ready to move into the Quad Cities metro area very shortly. The storms moving into the Quad Cities are warned for 70-mile-per-hour winds, but just north of the Quad Cities, it's actually warned for 80-mile-per-hour winds. That's where we had more of those kind of measured reports of 80 to 90 miles per hour, so very dangerous storm there. Let's go ahead and we'll leave the radar view up there for a second. Let me want to check a few things here. We do have a new tornado watch which has been issued on this red outlined area. You can see that does, whoa, I don't know how I did that. That does include northern Illinois, the southern ring of counties in Wisconsin, northwest Indiana, and to southwest Michigan as well. We have that tornado warning which has been issued. That's until 1 a.m. Probabilities of tornadoes, 60%. And the probability of stronger tornadoes, I imagine, is lower, because it's probably more of a QLCS threat. Yeah, 20%. So I'm not at all surprised by that. But that is that new tornado warning, tornado watch, which has been issued for northern Illinois, northwest Indiana, southwest Michigan. That does include Chicago, Rockford, down to Peoria, Bloomington. The Quad Cities looks like it's in that tornado watch as well. South Bend. Berrien Springs, Michigan, southwest Michigan. Not quite Grand Rapids, but pretty darn close. Yeah, it's wrapped around Sangamon County where Springfield is. Like, you know, nothing for you guys. You guys are fine. I'm trying to see. Looks like we don't have the new SPC outlook yet. We do have that moderate risk, obviously, in place. Going back to Iowa City, you can see things are well. Dark skies, the rain continues. I've seen a few periodic flashes of lightning, but overall we seem to be okay in Iowa City. Have not seen any reports come in from the Iowa City metro area either, so that's very good news. I do want to check power outages. We do have 6,000 customers in the dark in Lynn County. We have another about 1,700 in the dark in Johnson County. Dubuque County, we have about 6,700 out as well. So about 13% of Dubuque County is in the dark, about 5% of Lynn County. Another county that's hit pretty hard is Jasper County. We got 2,500 customers in the dark. That's about 13% of the county. And of course, one thing to keep in mind is that customers is really a little deceiving, because you might see, you know, Lynn County, it's 6,000 customers without power, but you know that is a lot of people, because you know one customer could be a house of say 4 people, or in some cases it could be like an entire office building or an apartment complex. So it's a little bit deceiving exactly how that's derived. As you can see, we do have a new tornado warning, though, which has been issued. Welton, Charlotte, Goose Lake, DeWitt, Clinton, Comanche, Garden Plain, Union Grove, Morrison. This new tornado warning is radar indicated. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Welton, moving east at 45 miles per hour. Again, this is also a destructive wind threat. I don't want to completely dismiss the wind threat with this as well. The strongest winds are likely right about here, moving into DeWitt as well. So it's a two-pronged damaging wind and tornado threat there. This is for... swallowed something there. I think it was a fly. Sorry. Ugh. Sorry about that. Northeastern Rock Island County, Western Whiteside County, Northern Scott County, Clinton County as well is under that tornado warning there. Now that's a new tornado warning there, which has been issued in Northwest Illinois. Also, again, likely a pretty strong indication of wind. You can kind of see again where there's, you know, really low reflectivity or no rain to very heavy rain. If it's a really tight gradient, That's a pretty strong indication that there's some very strong winds happening there. You can also see that unfolding like up here, a pretty strong bow echo. This will be moving it towards, again, this will be in Illinois. Mount Carroll, very short. Mount Carroll, Loran, Pearl City, Kent, Lena, over towards Orangeville. Very strong winds are likely moving up that way as well. Again, farther south, strong winds are now moving through the Washington area. And again, this is pretty much knocking on the door of the Quad Cities. This will be in the Quad Cities metro very soon. I'm checking to see if I have any other cameras down here to take a look at. Well, one thing I can kind of show you that kind of makes me laugh here. This is near Columbus Junction here in far eastern Iowa. You have the signs that are upright. Now they're down. Really strong winds came through with that line here near Columbus Junction. So this road closed as the signs got knocked down. So hopefully nobody comes flying through this as the road, the signage is knocked down here. That's near Columbus Junction. North of Columbus Junction here. This is far eastern Iowa. You can see some pretty strong winds out that way as well. So again, this continues to be a pretty hard-hitting line of severe weather. It continues to move through the region. Eastern Iowa now into northwest Illinois. Far southern Wisconsin as well. So very, very powerful winds here moving through eastern Iowa at this point in time. I almost wonder if I should move my camera like here, so that when I look over to this monitor, I'm not like silhouetted. I don't think I can do that easily, unfortunately, so we're just going to leave it for now. That was Columbus Junction, just kind of east of Ainsworth, east of Washington as well. Here's another view. Is this the same camera view? Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I get a second camera, that would be something I could do. I have professional camera over there shooting a video at Starlink. Also, I have my buddy has joined me. I don't know how well you can see him. Stormy. Hey, buddy. Want to say hi? What do you think? Good boy, Stormy. He's such a good boy. Such a good pup. Let's see. I think we're gonna get ready to wrap this up. Here is. Ooh, do you see that flash? Oh, now that I pet him, I gave him attention. Now he wants attention now. What? What do you want? I know it's about walk time, right? I haven't done that yet. So now he's just. What's up? What do you want? Now he wants attention. So now we've done bad things. Now we've given him too much attention. Now he wants it all. All right, we'll go. We'll go shortly. Again, here's a live view by DeWitt. Oh no, what have I done? There's a live view by DeWitt. No, it's not a live view by DeWitt. I closed it. Oh, what did I just do? Hold on. Oh no, we're breaking everything now. Panic. Hold on, let me go back to radar scope. I know. Okay. All right, hang on. Let me finish this, then we'll go. All right, going back to DeWitt. Sorry. Here's a live view in DeWitt right now. Looks like the camera kind of got knocked a little sideways. It's got a little tilt to it now. That tornado warning, though, continues here in northwest Illinois. So, yeah, I mean, it's moving into DeWitt, Illinois. I am, like, all confused here. Hold on. Yeah, so this is actually where the tornado warning is. I didn't even realize there's a camera here, so that's cool. I guess let's see what happens here in DeWitt before I go anywhere. Here's a live view in DeWitt. And this is where that tornado warning currently is. So I guess we'll see if we get some action here. The winds are certainly starting to kind of increase a bit. Real quick, this camera is located right there in the circled area. Ow, no, hold on. Ah! Panicking. Hold on. I'm trying to get this camera set up here. There we go. All right, back to DeWitt. Sorry about that. So this is where there is an active tornado warning in effect. This is DeWitt, Iowa. This is moving eastward as well, so this will be moving towards, again, DeWitt right now, but it will be moving towards Fulton, Clinton, Comanche. This is on the north side of the Quad Cities metro area. Hopefully that porta potty does not fly away. Hopefully that stays upright. But we're about to see some action here. This is DeWitt, where the strong storm is just moving through right now. The leading edge of that strong wind is just moving into DeWitt. So again, there's a tornado warning in effect as well as very strong winds. Real quick again, DeWitt's here at the center of your screen, and that is where your gust front is. We need porta potties to become a damage indicator for tornadoes. That's what the people want. So far, DeWitt, we're chilling. We seem to be chilling. Yeah, they only really put the cameras in like metro, like larger metro areas, as well as, you know, where construction's at, so more like traffic monitoring. Kind of looking around. Again, this is the tornado warning area. This right in DeWitt. I don't really. I'll be honest. I don't really see a really strong indication of rotation in DeWitt. It does look like very strong winds, though. So I don't want to completely discount that. What? You know, now I don't want to go away from this camera because I want to see what happens to the porta potty. The strongest winds are getting pretty close. What do you want? There's nothing here for you, dude. Oh, man. Porta potty's hanging on. We're doing all right. Real quick, we do have more tornado warnings which continue southwest Wisconsin into northwest Illinois. We have an 84 mile per hour wind gust that's been measured in Stockton, Illinois. So that's a very strong wind gust there. What? I shouldn't have given you pets. This is the problem. You're so well behaved, and I reward you, and now you're like, I just want to be annoying. You're okay. Let's see. Still chilling in DeWitt. Looking at traffic cameras, trying to see if there's anything else going on. Again, real quick, we do have just a quick radar update. We have that tornado warning which continues in southwest Wisconsin. This is for Lafayette and Greene County in southern Wisconsin. This is a radar indicated threat, but again, the other threat there is very strong winds, upwards of 70 miles per hour. It's moving through South Wayne right now, but we'll be moving into Monroe very shortly. We have a tornado warning in northwest Illinois as well. Very strong winds here, moving Pearl City, Lena. It's getting in the thick of it right now, but it'll moving into Orangeville, Cedarville, Freeport, Florence very shortly. Very strong winds again there in northwest Illinois, as well as the potential tornado threat. Looking at the velocity view, there's a pretty decent indication here on the southern side of the polygon down by Shannon. So it is possible that there's a bit of a circulation there down by Shannon, Illinois, on the southern side of that tornado warning. But again, we did have a measured wind gust in this tornado warning up there of 84, right? Oh, it's damage here. Several tree branches down. Where was that 84 mile? Wasn't that there too? Or is it like literally on top of it so I can't see it? I think there's a report, a wind report there. I thought it was right there. Anyway, looks like the Quad Cities is now under a tornado warning. Oh, goody. So we have a brand new tornado warning for the Davenport metro area. So Moline, East Moline, Milan, Buffalo, Eldridge, Parkview, LeClaire, Rapid City, Hampton, Cleveland, Geneseo, Andover, Orion, Preemption. We have a new tornado warning here for the Quad Cities. This is that Illinois, Iowa intersection here. We're the Quad Cities metro area. We have a brand new tornado warning for that area. This storm is just getting ready to move into the Quad Cities very shortly. Here's a live view in DeWitt. We are getting the thick of that right now. Very strong winds there in DeWitt. You can kind of look like the winds are actually picking up because you can start seeing the rain bands that are kind of whipping through the wind. So pretty strong winds there in DeWitt at this point in time. It's DeWitt, Iowa. I am keeping an eye on traffic cameras or the Quad Cities metro area as well. Because again, we have a tornado warning there for the Quad Cities. Let's see. None of the traffic cameras really seem to be pointed in a direction to really see the storm coming in. Here's a live view by the Quad Cities. This is the Old Man River, Mississippi River, the brand new I-74 bridge there. You can see for now just dark skies here on the horizon. No storms yet, but again, you are under a tornado warning in the Quad Cities metro area. This is in DeWitt. Kind of just jumping around looking for some more views. You can really see the low visibility and strong winds moving through DeWitt right now. So the gust front is starting to hit the west side of the Quad Cities. Porta Potty is holding strong in DeWitt. You love to see it. I'm going to watch that on my other monitor. They can start seeing the west side of the Quad Cities. The cameras are starting to kind of shake a little bit, kind of move back and forth. So the strongest, the gust front's starting to hit there. Again, I do have the DeWitt cam on my other monitor. I'm kind of keeping a close eye on it, making sure that Porta Potty is holding strong. If it looks like it's going to falter, we'll flip right back to it. Don't worry. A lot of lights here on the horizon here in the west side of the Quad Cities. So I'm curious if we'll see any power flashes or anything like that. But traffic, just driving straight into it. All these people's phones should have gone off with the WEAS alert for the tornado warning, so they know what they're getting into. So just kind of real quickly looking at radar. It does look like we do have a somewhat decent circulation that might be developing here by Edgington. This will be moving towards preemption. So this will be moving kind of this general direction. There might be a few other little circulations. If I tilt this up a bit, because you get so close to the radar, you have to kind of tilt it higher. You can really see these two circulations right here very clearly. Going back to the Quad Cities, here's the west side of the Quad Cities right now. It looks like you got some traffic getting off, I should say, which is ideal. This would be in the Davenport area. So very good to see traffic is really getting a lot less there as this strong storm is moving in right now. We're just kind of watching this together as this severe thunderstorm line continues to move now into the Quad Cities metro area. This is on the far west side of the Quad Cities. So pretty rural side. I believe that's I think that's the Pilot that's right there. And then just to the right of this camera, I believe is the Loves on like this side of the road. I'm pretty sure that's this intersection. I think. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that's the Pilot. I think there's a Loves to the right. Very low visibility. You can really see the rain bands ripping in the wind too. So very strong storm, very dangerous storm moving into the Quad Cities right now. Wow. Yeah, that's strong. And the problem is we're not getting terrific radar data in terms of the straight-lined wind threat with this radar view. Because the radar is basically just north of where this storm is right now. And so the wind is blowing like perpendicular to the radar beam, so it's not getting any radar data. And so it's really hard to tell exactly what it's blowing where this camera is towards the Quad Cities. Yeah, I've been checking through all sorts of cameras. I mean, that's dark, guys. The Quad Cities is getting smoked right now. Let's take a look again at DeWitt. This is where that tornado warning was, and I believe still is. Yeah, tornado warning continues there for DeWitt as well. I don't think I have any. I'm trying to see if I have any traffic cameras closer to where these areas of circulation are. I don't think I have anything down that way. So I-80 at Brady Street. It's getting ready to move into this camera view too, so we should see a pretty sudden change in conditions. Yeah, we were tracking it here as went through Cedar Rapids. We were watching as we're on the live coverage here. We were tracking as it moved through Cedar Rapids. Semi blown over in your Olds on 218. That doesn't surprise me. I believe that area that stretches north-south and the winds were like east-west, so you had some crosswinds on the roadways. That definitely probably caused some issues. Starting to see that dropping in visibility here. Up towards the tornado warning up in DeWitt. Going back to the camera on the west side of Cedar Rapids, excuse me, west side of the Quad Cities. Wow, that's some very low visibility there. Very strong winds. Notice not a lot of traffic on the roads. That's really good. Looks like a lot of traffic has gotten off. Storm, what do you want from me, bud? Huh? I know. Life is hard. Again, here's a live view up in DeWitt. We're just kind of going to be jumping around a little bit between storms. DeWitt is where we have that tornado warning in effect. Storm. What? This is Stormy, for anybody that doesn't know. This is Stormy the Storm Chasing Corgi. And clearly he wants attention right now. Which is fine. He was a good napper for most of this anyway. Going back to Quad Cities. Oh my gosh. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Huh? Maybe another reason you need to hire somebody. I'll just have a... We'll make this big time show. We'll have somebody, a dog watcher too. What are you trying to get? He like wants something. I don't know what he wants. More traffic starting to showing up here. I'm kind of surprised all of a sudden we have like a wall of traffic. It's like there's one guy that everybody was following. Up towards DeWitt. Here we go. You can see the porta potty seemed to have done its job. We do have a report of 74 miles per hour at the airport. Now we're getting all sorts of tornado warning chaos here. This is just a mess. Let me go ahead. Alright. Let's look at the radar view real quick, because this is now becoming a mess, and I think we'll probably start wrapping it up here. Real quick before we wrap things up, we do have a new tornado warning here. Southern Wisconsin. Air circulation right about here. So Evansville, Magnolia, over towards Janesville. Watching that area very closely in addition to very strong winds. 70 to potentially 80 mile per hour winds there. We do have a new tornado warning down here in northwest Illinois, just south of Cedarville. A decent area of rotation there. That will be moving towards Dakota. Ride it. Freeport is just north of it, but probably too close to call. Davis is also what we're watching there. Another tornado warning here in northwest Illinois. Air circulation here. Then moving towards Forreston, Adeline, Leaf River, Mount Morris, Polo, Oregon, Byron. So that is another air circulation that we're watching there. We do continue to watch the circulations here moving through the Quad Cities metro area. And again, a live view there in the west side of the Quad Cities. Very strong winds there. This is what's occurring right now. We did have that report there at the airport, so where the weather service is there in Davenport of 74 miles per hour. You can kind of see a decent potential of circulation right here. Maybe another one right by Milan. Another one right about here. So there's a few different areas of circulation. If I tilt up a bit higher, they become a little bit more pronounced, especially on that tilt 2. So a few different areas of circulation. One going to the south, just north of the Mississippi River in Davenport. So that is very concerning. So Bettendorf, Rock Island, Moline, and Davenport. Watching this area of circulation right here. If I go one tilt higher, I was hoping I have another radar scam. It doesn't look like I do. Alright, that's fine. Again, this circulation right here is moving through the Quad Cities right now. So Davenport, Bettendorf, Rock Island, Moline. Let me see. Actually, let me pull up that river cam. So this is pretty close to where that air circulation is. This is right on the Mississippi River and I-74. So this is kind of Bettendorf, Moline. This is that view right now. You can see very strong winds. The camera's shaking pretty good as well. Yeah, definitely nothing like 2020, at least as of yet. But nothing in terms of 2020 in terms of that derecho. That was, you know, a generational type of event on a whole other level. Did we lose this camera? We've had this happen a few times where we pick a really good camera and then the power goes out or something happens to it because of severe weather. Alright, that's fine. We'll go back to the radar view. Let's see if we can get any other cameras here. I think we may have lost all the cameras on the I-74 bridge. That's a shame. There's so many cameras on this bridge too. Are any of these cameras working? I think it looks like we just lost power in the Quad Cities because all of these cameras are going out. I do want to turn your attention though to this area here. This remains big time concern. Moving southern side of this tornado warning here, south of Milan. So preemption, Sherrard, Orion, Osco, Andover. This looks rather intense. Let me go down to tilt 1, up to tilt 3. There's clearly a mezzo there, an air of circulation in the storm. Well, I should have looked at this. I mean, that's about as classic as it gets. Let me look at correlation coefficient. That might be a tornado. This is likely a confirmed tornado, guys. I'm curious what the Weather Service is going to do, but this looks like it is a confirmed tornado. This is south of the Quad Cities. Preemption, Sherrard, Orion, Osco, Andover, safe place now. This is going to be south of Interstate 80 in this area right here. This appears to be a confirmed tornado based on radar. I'm waiting for the Weather Service to maybe update the warning to kind of provide their opinion as well, but this looks like a confirmed tornado here. It has a very classic signature with the hook right there. Looking at the correlation coefficient, there is definitely a dropout in that area of higher reflectivity. So this is just crossing US 67 by preemption. This will be moving into Sherrard. Preemption may have just taken a hit from a tornado or very close to it. It's basically tracking right here. So Sherrard to Orion, and then points north. You need to watch this very closely. As this occludes, this will likely wrap north. So Coin Center, Coal Valley. You need to be in your safe place right now. This appears to be a confirmed tornado just based on radar. Just the radar data I'm looking at seems to indicate that this is a tornado in progress here. And that's a really strong velocity signature as well. So I do think we are watching a tornado in progress here. And I do want to watch up here as well towards East Moline. There appears to be an air circulation trying to develop here as well. So East Moline to Carbon Cliff, Cleveland, Kelowna, over towards Geneseo. Another area I'd want to watch. I don't have as much of a indication here, but it's certainly possible. There's a bit of a bit of a kind of an appendage feature here. We might have a bit of circulation going on right there over East Moline. But again, this is also a very concerning signature here. A preemption may have just taken a tornado. It's very close. Again, either confirmed or might be about to at any point in time. As of now, they're still rolling with radar indicated on the tornado warning. But I mean, that's, you know, a very classic signature. There's still the debris, possible debris dropout. It's not, you know, like a super, super low value. I do think there is a tornado unfolding here. Again, preemption to Sherrard. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry. That's my guess. Unless it's Sherrod, but no, probably Sherrard makes sense. Yeah, I think that is a tornado there happening right now. We do have this tornado warning that continues to for Comanche, Clinton, Fulton, Morrison, Fenton. This tornado warning will continue as well. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located over Garden Plain. They're still saying radar indicated on this tornado warning. I mean, looks like all traffic cameras throughout the Quad Cities might be offline. We have one of the north side of the Quad Cities that appears to be online. This is at the I-74, I-80 interchange. They seem to be working. But I think a lot of the Quad Cities is without power, just based on the fact that all these traffic cameras are out. So I do think we have some pretty widespread power outages unfolding in the Quad Cities. They're still saying radar indicated. You know, I don't want to call it a tornado. It's definitely a big area of concern. I'm very concerned about that area there, down south. Even at tilt 2, if I go back to radar, even at tilt 2. There's a bit of a reflectivity or a drop out there in the correlation coefficient with the reflectivity. So I do think this possibly produced or is producing a tornado. This would be preemption, Sherrard towards Orion, Osco, and Andover. If this thing includes, though, they kind of tend to wrap north. So Orion is somewhere I'd really want to be careful with. And also the I-80, I-74 interchange on the far east side of the Quad Cities. This would actually be in Illinois. All right. Trying to find some live cameras here. I think this might be working again. Northwest side of the Quad Cities, we still have some pretty strong winds unfolding here. The worst of the severe weather appears to be moving through Davenport right now. Again, we did have that 74 mile per hour report at the airport in Davenport. We have a report of damage, multiple power lines down with all of Brady Street blocked. That is also in Davenport. So in the city limits, we have multiple power poles snapped. We do have a report of 60 mile per hour estimated winds near Milan. Further upstream, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning now for Beloit over towards Rockford. That is for 70-mile-per-hour winds. Again, looking at the radar view up this way, you can see that a very impressive line of storms continues. We kind of have two main areas of wind. We kind of got one right here, moving towards Dixon, Rockford. We have another kind of thrust of really strong winds here moving through the Quad Cities, including that potential tornado there on the south side of the Quad Cities metro. They are still saying radar indicated rotation here by preemption. We have a new radar scan. Let me go tilt 1. Reflectivity. I still think there might be a tornado here. It's hard to say for sure. Numerous tree limbs blown down at North Park Mall. Tires from an auto shop blown into the road. That's pretty intense. So again, we are tracking that severe weather as it moves through the Quad Cities. Very powerful line continues. We have multiple reports of damage. We are seeing more reports kind of pop up from the Cedar Rapids metro area. Reports of tree lines down. I'm looking through. Let's see, 1 foot diameter tree branch down. Marion, 65 mile per hour, 60 mile per hour. Hiawatha, large limb and power lines down. Cedar Rapids on the northeast side, small tree down, several tree branches. Marion, we had a 65 mile per hour wind gust. We had damage of 2 outdoor sheds destroyed. 67 miles per hour was measured west of Springville. We did have some reports of flooding. Looks like the airport in Cedar Rapids gusted to 55 miles an hour. We got some IDOT cameras, huh? Okay. Getting around Illinois traffic. Oh boy. Yeah, we got some action here. Peoria. Let me go back to the radar. I think I'm going to start getting ready to wrap this up as well. I gotta take care of a few things. That includes giving Stormy attention. So, but again, we do have this powerful line of storms that continues to move through. Now moving out of Iowa into northwest Illinois. We did have those initial wind reports here, about here. So far, from like early reports of damage, it's probably traveled about 135 miles. So if this does continue its trajectory, by the way, thank you, Jared. If this does continue, we could see that D word get broken out, the derecho term get broken out. Although I have not seen a lot of high-end reports yet after that initial burst by the Quad Cities. So we'll see how that works out. But again, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I think we'll wrap this up. We're going to go take care of a few things. I hope you're having a great evening. Stay safe. Stay weather aware as well. And we'll see you again for the next severe weather event, whatever it is that is. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and have a wonderful afternoon and evening.